Hello, 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 good evening, and welcome to Poetry and Perspective with Placid. I am your kind hostess, Cindy Placid. Welcome to the show. As usual, I introduce myself by saying I am a poet, author, advocate for mental illness and mental health suicide. I advocate for autism. I also advocate for dwarfism, domestic violence, rape and assault, and a host other things that I bring awareness to. And whoever wants to bring awareness to something, I am here to promote and to bring awareness to it as well. I am a three-time author of three free books. I'm a poet, so I have written three books. The first one is entitled "When Life Stood in Silence." The second one is entitled "A Mighty Calm," and the third one is entitled "What the Skies Told Me." And all three books can be found on my website, cindyplacid.com. And also, if you can go to Rise to Prosperity.com. Also, I have a candle line. I'm an entrepreneur. I have a candle line and a host of other things. I also want to mention, but I think it's really, really important to me. I am also on the executive board for the Where Ladies Talk, the New York chapter. And so we are helping ladies to do some amazing, amazing things. Now, I'm from the beautiful, beautiful Caribbean island of St. Lucia. And I love to promote my island people. I love to promote everybody, but specifically people from the Caribbean. In a matter of fact, I don't have any prejudices. I just anybody who wants to be promoted on the show or just show their products, show what they do. I am here to help you, whatever part of the world that you are. Okay, so with that said, before I continue, let me make sure that my Facebook audience is seeing this live because there's a tendency that doesn't happen. So let me make sure that we are on air. Give me 1 second on Facebook. Alrighty. Okay, we are good to go. All right, for those of you who are just joining us, welcome to Poetry and Perspective with Placid. Tonight we have an amazing show for you. As usual, I am a people person and I love to promote ladies. I love to promote people. And I want to bring to you tonight a very, very beautiful lady. She is what's going on here? A very beautiful lady. She is also from the beautiful Caribbean island of St. Lucia. And we're here to talk to her about her journey, what's going on in her life, and how she has inspired so many people. Sometimes you see people, you get to be acquaintances with other people, male, female, but unless you hear their story, you don't realize how much of an impact their lives can have on you and how much they have to contribute. So tonight I have with me the beautiful, beautiful Kelly Indy, and she is the current reigning queen for Miss St. Lucia USA. Welcome, welcome, Kelly.
Hello. Thank you, Cindy.
How are you doing, my darling?
I'm doing okay. Thank you so much for having me. Appreciate the opportunity to be here.
Awesome, awesome. It is my pleasure to have you here on Poetry and Perspective with Placid. I'm telling you, I have long waited for this opportunity to have you here because I think you're a very interesting young lady, and I want to hear more about you. Get to know, get share with the viewers, and
Yeah.
your fans a little bit more about Kelly, who she really is. So, with that said, could you please tell us just a little bit about yourself? And we're just gonna have a conversation.
Yeah, of course. Good evening, everyone who's joining us this evening. I'm so happy to be here. My name is Kelly Indy Smith, and as Cindy mentioned, I am Miss St. Lucia USA 2024. I am a creative artist. I'm a advocate for youth. Currently, I'm training as a mental health. I'm mistaking my work for yours, Sydney. I'm a school counselor, not mental health. I'm a school
Okay.
counselor in training, which we do kind of help young people with their mental health as well, but we work mostly in a school setting. But to
Mhm.
the heart, just a creative artist, trying to free the youth of their burdens, using creative arts as the way to do so.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah, that's a short intro to the things that I do.
Beautiful. Well, you from St. Lucia, and
Mhm.
part of St. Lucia you from? And tell us a little bit about that area you come from, and
Yes.
give us some interesting facts about that area.
Sure. So originally, I am from Saltibus. So a lot of people don't know Saltibus, but Saltibus is part of Choiseul, which is where most people know. So from Saltibus, Choiseul, and that area is, countryside. It's very well known for arts and crafts. So I went to Choiseul Secondary School. I grew up there. I did my first pageant there. I did Miss Saltibus. I also did a pageant at Choiseul Secondary School, and my memories there just really just were formed in me just finding myself creatively and beginning to have that voice, beginning to see myself as a creative person, looking at the majestic pictures every morning on a school morning, small things like that that maybe people take
Mm-hmm.
for granted was what
Mm-hmm.
I was exposed to as a young person. I think it influenced me to be who I am today.
That is beautiful. So,
Mhm.
what were your high school days like? Did you went to social secondary school? What were those days, those years like for you?
So I did 2 years at Choiseul Secondary School, and then I moved to the US and I did the
Mm-hmm.
remaining of high school there. But
Mm-hmm.
my days at Choiseul Secondary School was just exploration. Anyone who knows me knows that I was very theatric. I enjoyed putting on performances. I enjoyed the creative arts. So that's why I really found my voice. At first with writing. I took an
Mm-hmm.
interest to writing first and then gradually music came along. But being around that area, like some people refer to it as the craft district, right next to the school, there's this craft center, and just always being around really creative people, it just influenced me to think that, I could do that as well. And I could really be anything I wanted to. It really is a warm place when I think of it. My days at Schuster Secondary.
Beautiful. And we learn when we go to school, we learn, a lot of what we become comes from, what we learn. It doesn't necessarily mean we have to choose a career path that we
Hmm.
we we we, we, we decided to take at secondary school, but
Hmm.
it helps shapes us into who we want to become.
Yes.
It more or
Yes.
less open up our mind to how much we want to accomplish just away from that little, space of our secondary school. Now
Hmm.
I understand that you were called sensei.
Sesen.
Sorry, Cecian. You were called Cecian. Is it Cecian? Yes, Cecian. I don't like to say stuff that I have tongue to. Every word that have a double in it, like a double S or double M, it's a tongue twister
Hmm.
for me. Isn't that
Okay, I understand. I understand.
yes? So the late Queen of
Hmm.
Folk, I'm saying it
Hmm.
wrong again. Cecian, okay? Her name is
Yes.
Cecian Descartes, right?
Yes. Yes.
So
That's
you served as the youngest queen ever under Chatwell for Brooklyn La Rose Group between
hmm.
2012 and 2015. I know Swazel has a rich cultural background, okay?
Hmm.
So please tell us about that experience with Cecian, how that helped you and shaped you and boosted you into becoming, getting to the La Rose Group in New York.
Hmm. So the reason I was usually referred to as Sesen by my family was really because of how I carried myself. With the clothing, Sesen is very much about that folk kind of Creole look with the fashion jewelry and those bold and bright colors. So as a kid, I always liked those eccentric looking things that look just different, and
Mm-hmm.
some things that made me look older. So I was just always into that. So that's what really made people, my family in particular, call me Sesen.
Mm-hmm.
And my transition into so when I was younger, we have the usual Creole Day where schools participate in those things. We have the usual Laros Festival where schools participated. But I was
Mm-hmm.
really never into it as far as on a community level. So I was
Mm-hmm.
exposed to those kind of folk traditions in school. So when I moved
Mm-hmm.
to the US, when you leave your homeland, and especially at the age that I did, which was 13, you're trying to find yourself, becoming yourself. It almost felt like I was removed from something I was just starting to embrace. So now then the battle was really, who am I? Like I'm American, but I also know I'm St. Lucian, but I don't really fully know what that means. And then
Mhm.
thankfully there were groups in the US that were wanting to keep the tradition alive, and part of that
Mhm.
the Brooklyn Laros group, and I would go with my mom and my aunt, and gradually I started really gravitating towards it. I always liked, like I said, the folk tradition, but really gravitating towards it as far as learning the songs. So I would
Mhm.
write down the songs in best as I could in Creole, learn them, and eventually, they asked me if I wanted to participate, to be
Mhm.
the singer first, and then to be the queen as well. So
Mhm.
that's how that happened.
Beautiful. One of the things, I've really come to appreciate is that sometimes while we in St. Lucia, we don't realize the value of our
Yes,
folk culture.
it's so true. Yes.
So when we are taken away from it, it's like, okay, something missing,
Mm-hmm.
as you said. But before we continue, I'd like to say hello to my viewers. I have Foreign Force is watching. They said good night.
Hello.
Eustacia Tessa is watching. She said good night, and Jesse Leos is watching. So good night. And all those of you who I cannot see in the background who are watching, I would like to say welcome to Poetry and Perspective with Placid. We are listening to the beautiful, beautiful Kelly in the Miss St. Lucia USA 2024. We also have Nicola Dorville is
Hi,
watching. Hi,
Nicole.
Nicola. Hi, how are you? Said hi, Queens. Yes. So I mean, it's amazing how, like I was saying, we when we're taken away from our culture, just like, okay, there's something missing and I want to bring it back, and I'm glad that you were able to, okay, well, I'm going to look more into it, find
Yeah.
who I am as a person and how I can inculcate it in my life, in another country. And I think that's really beautiful.
Mhm. Yeah.
So I'm sure that it has an impact on who you are now, but I'm gonna
Mhm.
get to that in a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. So now you will call Session. I can, which is really cute. I can see it, and I
Yeah.
see colors.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you also, when you came up here, you got into creative writing, and I understand that you wrote in the school newspaper.
Mhm.
So tell us
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah. So when I came up here, creative arts, especially writing, was really like I would say my escape and my saving grace. So I journaled a lot. And then that naturally transitioned into, wanting to write creatively for others out there. So I was on the school newspaper, published some poems on there.
Mm-hmm.
And also, there was this it's like a literature campaign basically,
Mm-hmm.
and I submitted a poem based on my experience with getting bullied in school. Again,
Mm-hmm.
writing became like my safe space almost. So I had that
Mm-hmm.
experience of people bullying me for how I spoke and how I carried myself, which is not uncommon for any immigrant in the US to go through that. So
Absolutely.
I wrote through that, and I submitted that for that competition, and my poem was picked, so that was published, and that was like really a changing moment for me as far as my relationship with writing and just who I am as a person and my voice. So
Mm-hmm.
writing definitely, in high school it saved me from a lot of stuff.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Now, the name of the poem is entitled the poem is entitled "You Made Me Self-Destructive."
Mhm.
So you made me self-destruct.
Yes.
I know a lot of children
Yes.
face bullying, and
Hmm.
my son went through that at school. And I had my eldest son, he went through that at school, and
Hmm.
that was very damaging for
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
Because like you said, when you come here as immigrants, people don't understand how
Hmm.
much you are picked on
Yeah.
just because you're from another country.
Hmm.
So how did that affect you? And I know you wrote that poem.
Hmm.
How did that affect you positively and negatively?
I would say at that time very negatively. It was one of those things where, I wouldn't say I didn't want to go to school, but I dreaded going to school and knowing, okay, these were the set of people who would make fun of me for whatever reason. So it was one of those things that definitely made me not enjoy high school as much as I could have.
Mm-hmm.
In the moment, it was just going through like little even depressive episodes being at school and just wondering, why don't I fit in? Why is it so easy
Mm-hmm.
for everyone else? And trying to basically break down who you are to fit into that mold. So trying to speak differently,
Yes.
trying to act differently, going away from your values, trying to
Mm-hmm.
distance yourself from your culture, all these different things. And like I said,
Mm-hmm.
through writing and the creative arts and even getting involved like outside of school with the St. Lucian Lara's group, that actually empowered me. And that made me take that and now empower myself with it and say, okay, this is who I am. And I'm going to like start walking in that. So in the moment,
Beautiful.
it was negative, but long term, it's one of those things where you're able to flip it, you're able to
Yes.
take that and empower yourself.
And that is strength and courage when you are able to flip it
Hmm.
and make it into a positive for
Yeah,
you. You
yeah.
know, I
And
know
for
I went through this. How can I turn this to my advantage?
yeah,
You
yeah.
know, and I think that's one of the things that a lot of us have to had to put up with, you know. And it's not only in schools, you know, even adults, you know, that come
Hmm.
up here, they get bullied a lot, you know. And sometimes we just we know we have a purpose, we know we have a goal,
Hmm.
and we just go about it, you know. We suck it in, you know. Some of us don't, those who are even vocal, they don't, but some of us don't, and we just, you know, we just go through life, you know. But bullying in
Hmm.
itself is very damaging to
It
any
is.
human being,
Yeah.
any human being. And I have been bullied as well.
Hmm.
I've been bullied about so many things, but and it did affect me to a certain point, to a certain
Yeah.
level, you know, a certain degree, but I didn't let it get the better of me, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
And we cannot allow it to get the better of us.
Hmm.
So how has that experience of being bullied help moved you to help other children or help other people who have been bullied?
Hmm. I think for me, it's more about when I see young people out there to make them and to awaken that thing in them that's uniquely them. So I try
Mm-hmm.
to speak, even if it's a few seconds that I have with any young person that I encounter, I try to speak to that thing that's the deepest version within them that I
Mm-hmm.
know if I can reach that and they can tap into that, that bullying will not affect them, bullying will not face them. So that's what
Mm-hmm.
it's really been for me. Anytime I see a young person and I can perceive that they're struggling with something or they think that something about them is wrong, I
Mm-hmm.
instantly try to flip that for them and say, like, why do you think that's wrong? And that kind of ties into the whole school counseling realm
Mm-hmm.
as well. Just learning how to empower young people and
Mm-hmm.
those things that young people think are wrong with them, questioning that, interrogating them, like, why do you think that's wrong? And just
Mm-hmm.
giving them those tools to realize that literally there is nothing wrong with them and the world will have to change. They don't need to change. They just need to continue growing and embracing, what the Most High blessed them with.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna put you a little bit on the spot
Oh
here.
gosh.
Do you remember the poem? Can you recite a little bit about it of it
You,
for us?
oh my gosh, you are the second person, Cindy, to ask me to recite the poem, and I cannot remember the poem.
Oh, you
Um,
can't. Okay.
I have the book somewhere. I have to look for it, but
Mm-hmm.
the last line of the poem is, "When I'm gone, remember you made me self-destruct." So the poem just went through. It was kind of like me saying my experience walking down a hallway and how I have, these people who are bullying me, who are like sharks in a
Mm-hmm.
sea, and like basically they're bullying me, I'm bleeding, and they're feeding off of the fact that they're bullying me basically. And
Yes.
in the end, it was kind of like, you know, this is what you want. So just
Yes.
remember when you get this, that you were the one
Mhm.
who caused it. So it was kind of
Yes.
like a wake up call almost.
I
So
did write a poem in my second book about bullying as well, you
mhm.
know.
Yeah.
I wrote a poem, but I can't remember I have the book, but I'm not going to go through it. I can't remember the entire poem, but I did talk about the stereotyping and the bullying,
Mhm.
you know, stop the hate, you know, because they're destroying young lives because a
Yeah.
lot of children take their lives just as a result of
Exactly.
bullying.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's the part of it that we don't speak about, which is
Hmm.
sad and it's sometimes overwhelming to speak about. But it could have easily went another direction.
Hmm.
And people think now, especially we have this thing where a lot of people think the new generation is soft and they can't take anything, and they think that there's an exaggeration of bullying. But the truth
Yeah.
is, the younger generation does not have the tools that the older generation had. So there's a lot of young people right now who don't have parents to actually guide them and mold
Mm,
them to be someone who can withstand even bullying. They're raised
yes,
by, devices, and they're not sure, how to maneuver life and all of those things. So I think,
mm,
like you said, like that's one of those things that we don't talk about, but children commit suicide because of bullying. Young
yes.
children who haven't even figured out life yet are committing suicide.
Hmm.
So
Because they don't understand. Like you said, they're not. Back then we built, although a lot, there are strong children now, but back then we built it for tough shell.
yes, yes,
And but the children nowadays is they are different generation. Let's say
yes,
that they are different
yes.
generation, and the world is so, there's so much. It is so the word I'm trying to find is not coming. It's in my head, but it's not coming in my mouth. But it's
Mhm.
so overwhelming. Everything is so compact. It just everything just comes at you.
Mhm.
So before you can, recover from one, something else is coming. So I mean, these are topics. I know we cannot take away the problems that the world has, but even if we just speak on it to parents
Mhm.
and to help them educate their children about bullying and
Yeah,
what they can do to assist them, that would
yeah,
be so amazing.
yes, it would be.
Yes, because we don't want our younger generation to just die out on us just because of what people choose to say,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
it's amazing the staggering number of children that are taking their lives. It is
Mhm.
amazing,
Yes.
and it is sad. More sad than it is sad.
Mhm. It is.
So I mean, and so based on I know I'm going to bullying because I understand that was so based on your work in
Mhm.
schools as a counselor,
Mhm.
what are some of the things that you're hearing about why children are taking that route? I know we know is there's a lot of children say a lot of things, but what are some of the reasons why they taking the route? Yeah, I'm
Mhm.
losing my train of thought, right? Yes, let me.
Yes. So right now I'm still in my program right now. So I'm a counselor in training. So I haven't been in the field as far as in a school environment and having my own student clients. But basically, part of the research is showing hopelessness. If I could, with the knowledge that I have, with what I know, and pin it down to one thing, it's hopelessness.
Wow.
Kids have no hope, and even adults as well. To a certain
Mm-hmm.
extent, there is like hope in general is one of those things that if a person loses it,
Mm-hmm.
that is like a driving factor for them to go that next route and say, you know what, it's not worth living. But definitely with kids, there are so much other things going because biologically their mind is not even formed to a place where they can escape that or step back and see it from a different perspective.
Mm-hmm.
So in their undeveloped mind, in their mind that is still trying to decipher, okay, am I just maybe right now am I just triggered or is this is a reality? Kids don't they can't turn that off. So
Mm-hmm.
if I could nail it down, it's just hopelessness and kids feeling like they don't have people who understand, they don't have a safe space, and feeling that no one cares. So
Yes.
for me, like
And
I said,
go ahead.
yeah, I was just gonna say for me, it's just when I meet a kid, just speak to that thing to them directly, where it's just like there's
Mhm.
nothing wrong with you.
And let me tell you, when someone loses hope, it's like there's no point in living
Yeah.
anymore.
Yes. Yeah.
No point. And to have this little person who have so much ahead of them, the whole future, and they don't have any hope.
Mm-hmm.
And for them because of somebody else's meanness. And a
Mm-hmm.
lot of times, so when these children are bullying, they themselves are being bullied, they themselves are
Yes.
going through so much at home, you know. So that's the only way of the expressing it is just taking it out somebody by bullying
Yeah.
them. And that's sad.
Yeah.
Yes. Let me see, who do we have in here. We have Marcia Shalman. Good evening to you. We have Alberto La Papa. Hi, how are you? Nicholas said, Cindy, I would have to get your book, a signed copy. Absolutely, darling.
Mm-hmm.
And Johnson Shalman is watching. Good evening to you. Welcome to Poetry and Perspective with Placid. We also have Bernard Belas. Schoolmate, how are you? Nicholas said, that is so true. Great conversation, ladies. Thank you so much, Nicholas.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So now let's shift gears a little bit. I know we talked a
Okay.
lot about bullying. I think it is important that we, because you are now the reigning queen Miss St. Lucia USA. Okay, so it is
Yes.
important that we speak about these things. Okay, it is
Mhm.
important because I know you're going to be talking in groups, you're going to be speaking in different forums, whatever. So these are some of the things I'm sure you are going to bring up, when you speak in different groups and things like that.
Mhm.
So what was I gonna say? Yes, so you are the I'm getting excited. You know where I get excited. I start
Yeah.
to stumble a bit. So you are the reigning queen of the first ever Miss St. Lucia USA. Am I correct?
Yes, you're correct.
Yes. Now, girl, listen.
Mhm.
I'm a very honest person.
Yes.
So I interviewed forget it, Chanel, right, on my show.
Oh yeah,
I wish I
Chanel.
had time to interview at that time to interview all of you ladies because I think it would have been a really amazing. So
Mhm.
I said, "Oh my gosh, I'm back in Chanel," but I was back in everybody now. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong, but I had her on my show. But I'm telling you, I was a queen contestant before. I've done
Oh
it a couple of
yes.
times, right?
Yes.
When I saw you on that stage, the way you commanded that stage, I'm gonna okay. Now that is a queen right there. She
Wow.
got it. And we were Tessie and I we were back and forth. It's either that one and that one. I was
Mhm.
online watching because I couldn't be there. So
Mhm.
I'm gonna, oh my gosh, she's just, and you were so poised. So I don't before that moment happened, let me show you a little picture first. Before that moment happened, right? Before you decided, I know you have been in queen shows and whatever, but before, I'm gonna go back to before the whole thing happened. But before that
Okay.
moment happened, where they crowned you queen, right?
Mhm.
What were your thoughts?
Like right before, like after the questions and we were waiting and they started.
Yes.
My thoughts were I did my best. My thoughts were whatever happened, I did my best and I actually felt a peace and a calm and I'm like, you did your best. So I was really relaxed and I was just waiting. And in that moment, it felt for me, whatever the outcome was, that I truly was a winner because I executed the way that I wanted to, even with the obstacles I was facing on that night itself. I executed to the best of my ability and I can do more than my best. So that's how I felt right before.
You were all winners. You know why? Because all of your got on that stage
Mm-hmm.
and did it. And I don't know about other people. Let me tell you something. It takes a lot of courage.
It does.
It takes a lot of patience,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to have an extra ounce of energy
Yes. Yes. That is
to go
also
up
true.
in those queen shows. It
Mm-hmm.
is, guys, it is very tiring.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm sure you'll have more things to do than the time I went up for queen shows.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes. So you did good. I love you. I love the fact that all of the ladies, all of y'all are winners, y'all are queens, no matter what, because it like I said, it takes a lot, and it shows character. It shows that you ladies have goals, and you are going to try different things, even if never gonna call it a failure, because every step you take forward is a win.
Amen. Yes.
Yes. So I was really proud of all of you ladies. So who's
Mhm.
here first? Sanu, hi Sanu. Good night, Cindy, and your royal guest. Yeah, yeah. So let's backtrack a little bit.
Mhm.
I know you were back in Queen shows back in St. Lucia and whatnot. So when you got a call to take part in that actual actual contest,
Mhm.
what were your first thoughts?
No. Because honestly, Cindy, in my past, which we shouldn't dwell on the past per se, but in my experience with pageants, they kind of fall flat.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, I don't want to put my energy into something that is just going to be one night and then after that no one cares, everyone forgot and all of that. And I
Mm-hmm.
just felt like I didn't want like I would help someone, but I didn't want to be part of that. I felt like my energy could be used elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And I still went ahead through with just speaking with the organizers and I interrogated them. I was like, what's different about this than any other pageant? Like, what do you all have for the young woman who,
Mm-hmm.
moves forward? Because at the end of the day, it's not just me, it's whoever is out there. Like, we're going to spend our energy, we're going to put ourselves out there, spend resources, and for it to end up into what, So I really had to investigate, like, okay, like, what's the real goal behind this pageant? And
Mm-hmm.
when they shared that this is something they actually want to help a young woman launch her platform, help a young woman continue her work, and
Mm-hmm.
really have it be something that grows for the culture. That
Mm-hmm.
that sold me, and I was like, okay, I can give this a try.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow, okay. So you said no at first.
At first, I was very skeptical, very
Yeah.
very skeptical. Yes.
So as you got into the whole pageantry, the pageantry, oh my gosh, my brain is working not is not working with me today. But the pageantry routine
Yes. Yes.
and doing different things, and your excitement grew. I'm sure that you and all of the other ladies had expectations for yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yourselves. I know you did your best, but
Mm-hmm.
did you find that you exceeded the expectations?
That's a good question, Cindy. That is an awesome question. And if I'm being truthful, I would say with what I had then, yes. With
Okay.
what I had then, yes. Could I have done way better? Yes. Maybe if I had more energy, maybe if I had more time, maybe if I had more. But
Mm-hmm.
definitely with what I had, before I even started really preparing for the pageant, I kind of wrote down, okay, what do I want on the other side of this? And for me, it was really like, for my talent, I need my talent to be something that helps me step up a bit in my creativity. So that's what I worked on, and I changed it a few times until I was very satisfied with what I presented that night. So I
Mm-hmm.
think with what I had back then, as far as my skills, my knowledge, my time, I did my best.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful, beautiful. Now these are, let me show on the screen. These are the is there seven of you?
Yes.
The seven of you who participated in the event. Now, do you ladies still have a close bond? Was a relationship between all seven of you?
Well, I haven't seen much of the ladies after. I did see a few of them because which I know we'll talk about later. I did launch my music video, and I have a few of the girls in my music video.
Mm-hmm.
But we haven't really been able to connect all of us like we did during the pageant. But right after the pageant, everyone was just wishing everyone well. So it's always going to be that sisterhood of, okay, we were the first set of ladies to do that. So
Yes.
regardless of where we are, what happens in life, I think there will always be that bond there with everyone.
Beautiful, beautiful. Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
As we go through different walks of life, we meet different people, we form bonds, and most times these relationships are long lasting because we find out that we have so much in common with different people, and
Hmm.
we can relate to them. So I mean that is really amazing that you guys, even if you haven't been totally in connection with everybody, but at least some of you are stayed together and doing things together. Now, walking away with that crown,
Hmm.
what are some of the benefits that you've gotten from becoming queen, and what are some of the opportunities that have been afforded to you?
So I was able to do a few appearances, which I really, I valued. I was able to go to the Maryland Independence Ball. I was presented there. I was able to speak to the people and kind of share a bit on my platform. I was presented with a gift from a upcoming designer. Well, not upcoming, she's established, but she
Mm-hmm.
gave me, this really nice purse that she designed herself, and
Mm-hmm.
just being able to be in spaces. I was able to raise the St. Lucian flag on our independence at Borough
Mm-hmm.
Hall
Okay.
in the city. So just being in spaces that really is inspiring, and
Mm-hmm.
also giving me the platform to launch my foundation, which again we'll probably talk about later on.
Mm-hmm.
But just giving me access, to those resources to be able to move the platform forward and deliver on the promises.
Oh, beautiful. That's wonderful. And I commend you. I met you personally when I came to New York.
Yes.
we in unique's event, and you were such a pleasant, individual, and you were just the same calm nature. I really appreciate that you came up to me, and when I walked in, I didn't see you ladies. To be honest with you, I
Yeah.
was so nervous because
You didn't seem nervous, Cindy.
was that
You said you didn't seem nervous, really, when you were reading. You didn't seem
I
nervous.
was so nervous.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see it was until afterwards that I saw you ladies. Oh my gosh, I didn't even acknowledge them, but
Mm-hmm.
that's another story for another day.
Yes.
So now you have, I think one of the most amazing things for me, I think, with all of this is that you have done so much. You look very young. Okay, you are very young,
I
and
am.
you have done so much. And I
Mm-hmm.
understand that in 2015 that you had your own radio show.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us a little bit about that.
Mm-hmm. So in 2015, that was my first year in college, and again, I was on that momentum leaving high school, that creativity, and where do I fuel this? Where do I,
Mm-hmm.
channel all of this energy? And I just decided, a radio show would be a nice opportunity to share some thoughts. And that was around the time where in the US there was a lot of racial stuff, a lot of social stuff going on, and I didn't have an outlet to really present that. It was a small college, so there was not that many clubs to address issues in the way that I wanted to address it. So I
Mm-hmm.
started Ism Radio, and Ism Radio was my own way of, just exploring my consciousness, exploring my beliefs on certain social and political issues and things of
Mm-hmm.
those sorts. So it was really good. It was a nice experience for me.
Good. Is that still in operation?
It's not, and the crazy thing is, I remember when I was doing it, I always told myself, I should download some of the lives, and I never did. But when I left the school, like eventually I transferred out, my
Mhm.
lives were all, my broadcasts were all deleted. So I don't have anything of that. I probably have one flyer of that
Oh
radio
my
show.
goodness.
Everything was deleted, but I have thought of revisiting it in the future. But it has to be something that's planned accordingly, and it fits it fits properly
Yeah.
with the mission. So
Wow. So
mhm,
you were called. You went from Sesen
mhm.
to call Shiloh
Yeah.
because of making peace. And you said it because you took that name because of making peace ascribe as a place of worship in the Old Testament.
Hmm.
And now it seems to me like you're a very spiritual person. Why was that significant for you?
The name, taking
Yeah,
on
to
the
take the
name.
name Shiloh, yes.
Yeah. So the part of what raised me, I would say, into my consciousness was this whole idea of who am I really supposed to be outside of what people are saying I should be, outside of what society is saying I
Mm-hmm.
should be. So part of
Mm-hmm.
it was like a name. Where does
Mm-hmm.
our name come from, and who calls us these things? And I went through
Mm-hmm.
that period of feeling that I wanted to give myself meaning, to ascribe meaning to myself. I wanted to identify myself the way that I saw fit. And
Mm-hmm.
I never knew of that name before, and it was just I just felt that name in my spirit one day. It sounds so
Mm-hmm.
crazy, but that's exactly, I just felt the name in my spirit, like Shiloh. It's
Mm-hmm.
Shilo. And then upon doing research, I realized that that name actually means peace. And in
Mm-hmm.
the Old Testament, that was a place of worship, Shiloh. And
Mm-hmm.
it's a name that just means chosen one, peace, and it has that connotation of just bringing serenity and peace, and like you said, that spirituality and everything
Mm-hmm.
of that sort. So for me, it just tied in nicely, and I started making my music as well. So my music was also reflecting that same sentiment of becoming who I'm supposed to be, and trying to bring peace and bringing a balance. I thought that I needed, and also the world needed as well.
Awesome. So now that you mentioned your music, we are shifting to your music.
Yes.
So you have now, I think you have, it's right here, Queen Energy. And I think your new release is called the Queen Energy. But let me
Yes.
get to that in a little bit.
Hmm.
How did you transition? I know I don't remember if you said that earlier. But how
Mhm.
did you transition into music, writing songs?
So music was one of those things. It was always there as a child. So I enjoyed singing a lot.
Okay.
I'd always be singing, lock myself in a room for hours singing. So I enjoyed singing, and I started mixing my love for writing and music and singing maybe about 20, I would say officially 2010, 2011ish, around that time. But the
Mm-hmm.
first time I actually wrote a song, it was in primary school. There was like this, sometimes, back home they have these little jingle competitions in school. So that was the first
Mm-hmm.
time I actually wrote a song. And then, like I said, my love evolved. And then around 2010, between 2010 2013, that's when I started actually writing songs, full blown songs.
Mm-hmm.
And then it just grew. And then, like I said, my I needed a name, a stage name. At first, it was Keko. That's my
Mm-hmm.
childhood nickname. Then it
Mm-hmm.
transitioned when I got older to Shiloh. And
Mm-hmm.
then, like I said, as I grew and evolved, the music also grew and evolved, and the name also grew and evolved to what it is now, which is just Kelly Indy, which is my first and second name. So yeah, that's how
Thank
the
you.
music came about.
Okay. So once again, thank you so much, Kelly. For those of you who are just joining us, and for those of you who are going to be watching the live later, we are having a conversation with the beautiful Your Highness Queen Kelly Indy Smith, and
God.
she is the reigning queen for Miss St. Lucia USA 2024. And thank you, viewers, for tuning in. We have some. I cannot say the last name, but I'll call you Sam. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we also have other people watching as well. Uh, so some said mega love for Saint Lucian. So thank you so much. We appreciate you. So Kelly,
Yes.
now you have that queen energy going on. Okay,
Yes.
you know I'm a big man, so of course I'm gonna promote that song. Okay, so
Yes.
I would like, if it's okay with you, to play one of your songs. I have it ready to play, okay?
Okay. Yes.
But before we do that, let me show you the queen, okay? This was Kelly
Oh, yeah.
when she won, okay? The title. No one, Nova,
Hi, Noah.
say hi. And this was the second picture. Oh my gosh, I am in love with this, with the head tie
Thank
and
you.
the
Thank you.
solution madras.
Yes.
And that smile is the smile of royalty.
Oh, thank
You
you.
are so gorgeous. And
Thank
Nicola
you.
said, I love her song Queen Energy. Yes. And this I love this as well. It didn't even look like you. It looks
Yes, I agree. It looks very
totally
different.
different.
I agree.
Yes, but it was beautiful. And you know what I loved about that? That you were so, like Nicholas said, you were so authentic, and you were just I find that you were really poised and calm. And the other ladies at the back, I was looking at them, they were all were just were cheering you on. So that was
Hmm.
beautiful.
They were.
That was beautiful. So
Yeah.
let's go to Queen Energy right now. You're ready to have Queen Energy? You want the video? If you want the video, put a like, or if you just want to hear the song, put a like. Put a
Woohoo.
love. I'm waiting to know what they're gonna say, the song or the video. I love both of them.
Oh, thank you.
I love both of them. So let me go ahead and neglect the fire. Hold on. Okay, so I'm gonna show you all. Well, I'm gonna show you all the video first, okay? Because I think the video is very ooh.
Yeah. It was a nice time. Yes.
Okay, so let me see if I can get it right here. All right. I put it up. I really literally pulled it up before we came. I'm gonna. Oh my gosh, I love this. Hold on. Okay, it's playing before me. Give me 1 second, guys. I think I lost it, but I'm going to find it. Don't you worry. I'm going to find it. I had it right here with me. Okay, there we go. Okay. All right. I just have to put it. Okay. All right, guys. So let me get back here, and I'm going to share my screen. There's so much I have to do. She said she smashed that night. Not a drop of doubt was left.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, yes. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and can you guys see the screen?
No. There we go. Wow.
Queen energy, call me majesty, living this every day. In my own way, I can get better. I'm on my own level, my own level. Mama, oh yeah. Real queen never need another title. To be queen, gotta first be a disciple. The truth is, they just wanna be an idol. 100 of saying pussy by Christ. As I would address them, or give them my fight to lie to or try to. They wanna see the idols, private revival. I'm telling them quite in a Queen energy, call me majesty, living this every day. In my own way, I can get better. I'm on my own level, my own level. Mama, oh yeah. Real quick police and I'm in a stressing. Say me not stressing, yeah. Real quick police and I'm in a stressing. Say me not stressing. Time we investing to see progress.
Since day and since day and
Real quick police and I'm in a stressing. Say me not stressing, yeah. Queen energy, call me majesty, in this every day. In my own way, I can get better. I'm on my own level, my own level. Mama, oh yeah. Real police and I'm in a stressing. Majesty. Real quick police and I'm in a stressing. Mama, oh yeah. Gotta realize this. Queen energy, call me majesty, living this every day. In my own way, I can get better. I'm on my own level, my own level. Mama, oh yeah. My own level, yeah. My own level, yeah. On my own level, yeah. My own level, yeah.
Yay. Thank you, Cindy, for playing that.
Listen, you already have some seduction thing going on here, okay?
Oh, I
So
love
that
it.
was
I love it.
beautiful.
Thank you.
What's playing? Oh, sorry. Is that you? Oh, that's you
Um,
too.
or maybe
Oh,
something
the other
else.
song was playing. Kelly in the Shiloh. It says Lioness on the Rise. Oh my
Oh
gosh.
yeah, that was my EP. Yeah, that was my
Oh
EP a few
wow.
years ago.
Okay. It started playing without me giving it. Some said the song and video is a vibe. Queen.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
Yes, that was beautiful. Oh my gosh, that's a hit. That's a hit. Nicola, yes, that's hot, fire. Yes. Oh my gosh, I love it. I love it. And the fact that you have the other ladies in there, all
Mhm.
of them are queens, so it's beautiful that you are um you are keeping our young people and people like yourself, keeping them in a positive, doing something positive with their lives,
Mhm.
because a lot of the young ladies can go astray because of peer pressure, because of life circumstances, but these ladies are doing something productive, and I'm sure that a lot of them are working on different things to help other
Mhm.
people. And
Yes,
yes, so that is really commendable of you, and I thank you. You are a really good role model for other young people, because in your short space of time you have accomplished a lot, and
thank
that
you,
says a lot to your character.
thank you. Appreciate that.
Now, yes, you also have a new project and a new foundation. Tell us about that.
Yes, so we are officially launching the Southern Gem Foundation on July 21st here in New York. So the Southern Gem Foundation is my personal platform that I've created, as my mission post the pageant. And it's really a space to equip St. Lucian youth with the power of the creative arts to create change in their lives and in the community. So it's really all about, how can we empower young people through the creative art to make better decisions, to change the trajectory of their life, and to just give them resources that's going to allow them, to be success stories, and also for them to help other people be success stories. So right now, the three immediate projects we're looking at is to provide a scholarship for one primary school, one secondary school, and one college student back home. We're also
Mm-hmm.
looking to work with the Saltibus Youth and Sports Club and provide them with a donation because they're already on the ground. They're already, involving the youth in activities that's going to stimulate them in a way to do exactly what we want to do, which is create change in their lives and community. So we're going
Mm-hmm.
to try to provide them with, a donation that's going to allow them to do so, whether that's allocated towards them going on trips, whether that's allocated towards getting their sports equipment or whatever that they would need, because they are funded by themselves and run by persons who are just trying to see the change in
Mm-hmm.
the community. And last but not least, we're also looking to help the Salty West Community Center get renovated. It's been a while since it's been renovated, and right now it's in, if I will say, deplorable conditions.
Mm-hmm.
I received some videos of how it looks, and it's actually really sad for me to see it like that. We affectionately call it the pink building because it's a big pink building. It's the first thing you really see when you go into Saltibus proper, and
Mm-hmm.
it's just, I wouldn't say it's abundant because there are places in there that's being used, but
Mm-hmm.
overall, when you see like what a community center can do for the community and the youth, it's
Mm-hmm.
not being used. It's underused, to the point that it's slowly but surely falling apart. So we're just trying to work with the persons on ground to see how can we renovate that, and in the future create programming that's going to sustain, you know, the youth in the community, and just trying to find ways, like I said, to equip young people with the power of the creative arts. So in a nutshell, that's what the Southern Gem Foundation is.
That is, I think this is a really good initiative, really, really powerful initiative, to be able to help and give back to your community.
Mm-hmm.
Now, since you have that weighty responsibility now of carrying your royal duties,
Mm-hmm.
um, well, how has your relationship been with the government of St. Lucia in the area? The probably the consulate and different government officials. How has the reception towards you been, and how have they been able to help in furthering what you need to do and what you take on as as that I would say a leader.
So far, right now, it's just still making those connections. So we're still in the process of making those connections as far as the larger government goes. Up here, we do have full support from the consulate general and also the ambassador as well. So we do have the support, and right now is bridging this gap and making those connections, solidifying those connections back home. As far as the Saltibus Community Center goes, I have been speaking with the Saltibus Choiseul Constituent Council, and they're the ones who, from my understanding, are overseeing the renovations of different community centers back home. And I've
Okay.
spoken to them. I've kind of shared what I want to do. I've shared my personal bond with the community center. That was where I took my first pageant on Saturday. That there was a lot of activities we were able to do there, which helped me grow as an individual. So I shared that with them, and they were receptive of that. And right now, it's just ironing out all these things and seeing, okay, how can we actually make this happen? Because this is really a big project. As far as the renovation goes, it seems
Mm-hmm.
small, but there's just so much logistics that goes into it, as far as who's going to be the point of contact to make sure that it continues, how will the center take care of itself, and what are the program, like, it's just so much. But they have shown a willingness and an openness to have me come in where I can and just kind of share my ideas and be able to see it move forward. And at the end of the day and at the end of 2024, when I give my crown to the next Miss St. Lucia USA, this is something I'm going to continue driving
Mhm,
forward. And I've said
mhm,
it before, this work didn't start on February 3rd, 2024. This didn't just start the night of the pageant. This is something that's been brewing within me from my earliest days. So
mhm.
for me now, it's just I'm so thankful that I have the opportunity to push it out there, but it's going to just continue. And I'm just, not going to give up until I see what I want for my community and for St. Lucian youth.
Absolutely. And like I said earlier, we give back where we can, because we don't always have to wait on the government to do stuff. We have
Mhm.
to take initiative as, citizens of the country to do the best we can, however we can,
Yeah.
to make it, a comfortable place for us as St. Lucians and those who are there, because life back home is not the same as life up here.
Mhm.
It's different here.
Yes.
So I thank you so much, Kelly. It's just, I mean, you are doing such amazing things, and I'm thankful that you are the kind of person that you are, because sometimes we find young people, they say they want to do something and there's procrastination, and other times the resources are not there, you
Mhm.
know. But once you've given the opportunity to do good, you push yourself.
Yes.
Your head in holes, like they say.
Yes.
And then you make it work. And sometimes you will it is not going to be easy,
Yeah.
but consistency
Mhm.
is the key to success. Is a key to success. So
Yes.
keep doing what you're doing, Queen. I love you. The minute I saw you, I connected with you, and then we've been talking. So, and I'm proud of you
Thank you.
for um, you're welcome. I'm proud of you for just taking on so much and wanting to do so much, to help better yourself so that you could be more of service to other people. I think that's really commendable, and that is something um, that's very exemplary.
Mhm.
So, if you want to know about more about Kelly, please visit her website. It is kellyiindysmith.wordpress.com. So that is her personal page. So you can go on there. You can learn more, a bit more about the foundation when lunches and everything.
Yes.
And Kelly, thank you so much for being here. Now, don't go yet, guys. My viewers, if you love my show and you love what I'm doing, please, I would appreciate it if you just at least share my lives, if not anything, or subscribe to my page,
Mhm.
and also send some stars. Stars are going to help me have better equipment to do this show, and
Mhm.
it's going to show your appreciation for what I do, because I don't do this for the pay, but appreciation goes a long way. It helps me to give back more to the community. That's my way of giving back. Okay, so and also uh if you know someone who's interested in coming on this show and talking about their experiences, whether it be grief, loss, something to bring awareness to, mental health, whatever it is, I am here to help you promote yourself. And next month, the next coming weeks, we're gonna have so many amazing people on this show, so many young people,
Yeah.
so much talent, you know. St. Lucia has a lot of talent,
Yes, we do.
a lot of talent. And so we need to capitalize on that to be able to show the world, like I keep saying, that we have talent. We have a lot of talent, and we have more than just the simplest things to offer. We have a way of young people with different talents, so we need to promote that. So give me send stars. The link is pinned there if you want to send stars. And if you want somebody to come under, so you can send my email, rise to prosperity at gmail.com. I didn't put it on there, but it's there. And there was something else I wanted to ask you, Kelly, but somehow I forgot. I'm trying to stall so I can get it together. Yes. Um, I'm trying to stop together, but I can't remember. I can't remember.
Well, can I just take this opportunity to just say thank you, Cindy, and also to just shed light on the work that you are doing as well. It was really empowering and inspiring to see you share your story at the Unike event, and you said you gravitated towards me. I felt it was very mutual, and I felt like I had to at least exchange words or something with you, because
Mhm.
it was one of those things where someone reminds you like, hey, keep going, keep doing the mission. And I think you did that for a lot of people as well, and you were just so brave, so vulnerable, but then so like powerful in the same light. So just thank you for that, and just continuing the conversation. And I'm happy that now we're connected, and I'm looking forward to what we can do in the future as well. So thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you so much for that, Kelly. I appreciate you. And you are an amazing young lady. And I can see they say the sky is the limit, go beyond the skies. Go
Amen.
beyond. And I see beautiful things in your future.
Thank you.
Well, Risers, my resilient Risers, this was such an amazing, amazing show. I enjoyed my time with you, Kelly. It is 9:02. I would like to say thank you so much for the privilege of your time. Thank you for taking the time. I know you're busy. I know you go to school. I know you do so many things, but it
Mhm.
is a pleasure to have you here. Keep inspiring others. Keep inspiring. Keep empowering other young women like yourselves, other young people like yourselves,
Yeah.
to take a positive route in life. And even when life knocks them down, they can always get back up. And
Mhm.
I always say it, Les
Yeah.
Brown is my guy. He's my guy. If you're gonna fall on your back, if you're gonna fall, try to fall land on your back, because as long as you can look up, you
Mm.
can get up. Okay.
Yeah.
So bravo to you. Failure should never be your finality. Rise to your own prosperity. And guys, always, always let your voice be heard. Do not be silenced by fear.
Mhm.
I love you guys. Until next time, have a good night.
Good night.